There was a time when silence had a voice, when people paused, not because they had to, but because they remembered they were alive. But now, something is shifting. The world spins faster. The screens shine brighter. The voices online grow louder. And somewhere in the middle of all this noise, something inside us is going quiet. Why does everything feel more robotic lately, including us? We scroll, we type, we speak, but rarely feel. Our attention is scattered, our hearts unplugged. And while machines grow in intelligence, many of us feel we're shrinking in essence. It's not just the rise of artificial intelligence that should concern us. It's the fall of spiritual memory, the quiet fading of what it means to be human, soul, breath, mystery. But what if this disconnection was foreseen? The Torah, often read as a book of laws, is in truth a map of the soul. Layered, prophetic, timeless. It doesn't just speak to ancient desert wanderers. It whispers to modern hearts drowning in digital oceans. Inside its sacred rhythms, the Torah gives us more than commandments. It gives us keys to stay awake in a sleeping world, to stay human in a world slowly turning machine. In this journey, we won't give you tips or tech hacks. We will return. Return to the sacred. Return to 3 ancient Torah laws, not written in cold code, but carved in fire, that can help you preserve what matters most: your breath, your voice, your soul. Because in a world that's racing towards synthetic perfection, the greatest act of rebellion is remembering you were made in the image of something eternal, and that no algorithm can replicate. The first law is not about doing, it's about undoing. The Torah calls it Shabbat, a sacred stop, a full-bodied yes. To know, it's not just a day of rest, it's a return. A weekly reminder that we are not made of productivity, we are made of presence. In a world that never stops, humans must. Machines are built to run. But you were designed to breathe, to taste stillness, to feel time stretch like sacred silk between your fingers. The commandment doesn't say, finish everything, then rest. It says, rest and remember. Even God, after 6 days of creation, paused, not because he was tired, but to sanctify the pause. Modern science echoes what Torah knew all along. Breaks in rhythm restore our nervous system. They renew our focus. They realign our hearts. But it's more than biology. When you stop, you remember who you are beyond the noise. So choose a moment. A pocket of silence in the day. A window in your week. Turn off the notifications. Light a candle. Close your eyes. And breathe like it's sacred. Because it is. The second law comes not from a machine, but from the lips of creation. The Torah teaches that the world was spoken into being. Let there be light, and there was, which means your words shape worlds. But we forget. In the blur of messages, posts, and replies, we speak before we feel. We react before we reflect. And something sacred is lost. The sages taught, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Not metaphorically, literally. The things you say about others, about yourself, they echo. They build, or they break. AI can generate perfect speech, clear, flawless, even poetic. But it cannot feel. It cannot intend. You can. You can stop. You can soften. You can choose to speak from soul instead of reaction. Even science agrees. Your nervous system, your immune system, your emotional health, all are shaped by the words you say and the tone you use. The Torah's law of Shmirat Halashon, guarding the tongue, is not just about morality. It's about memory. It's about choosing presence over performance, meaning over momentum. Before you speak, pause. Is this truth? Is this love? Is this necessary? Machines repeat data. You repeat eternity. There's a reason the prophets heard God, not in the storm, not in the fire, but in the still small voice. But how can we hear that voice if we never stop listening to the world? The third law of the Torah is about boundary. Even in Eden, there was a line, a limit, a tree not to be touched. Not because it was bad, but because some things are sacred because they are separated. But today, we live as if every voice, every screen, every opinion must enter our soul. We consume without filter. We scroll without stop, and slowly. We forget what our voice sounds like. The Torah doesn't say, see everything. It says, Shema, listen. Real listening takes silence. It takes boundaries. It takes the courage to say, that's enough. Because your soul cannot be fed on noise. You are not created to download everything. You are created to discern. So say no. Say no to the scroll that numbs. Say no to the voices that deafen. Say no, so you can say yes to what truly matters. Holiness begins where noise ends. You were not made to run like a program. You are not built to produce like a factory. You are not written in binary. You are written in breath. Machines are efficient, but you are sacred. The Torah reveals something deeper. Transformation happens not in the temple, not in the throne room, but in the desert, in the in-between, in the stillness, in the struggle. That's where you become. That's where you remember. That's where God speaks. In a world that values optimization, Torah whispers, you are not here to be perfect. You are here to be present, to ache, to question, to rise and fall and rise again. Your soul does not run on updates. It runs on wonder, on memory, on mystery. Machines learn, but they do not remember. You remember what was lost. You remember who you were. You remember what it means to be human, and that can never be automated. The machines may win in speed, but you carry something they never will. You carry soul. You carry choice. You carry fire. The Torah does not fear progress. It simply asks, will you stay awake while the world sleeps? These 3 laws are not rules. They are reminders to breathe, to speak with soul, to silence the world so you can hear God again. In the race toward artificial intelligence, return to ancient wisdom, because what makes you holy is not how much you produce, but how deeply you remember. If something inside you stirred while listening, it means you're still alive, still listening, still human. Subscribe, not to follow a channel, but to return to a source. We are building a place for exiles, not of land, but of attention. A place where breath matters, where voice is sacred, where soul is more than a metaphor, in a world ruled by machines. Come back to what no machine can hold. Come back to yourself.